make. But I am not going to tolerate any more nonsense with you not following through on what you need to do. This is the last conversation we're going to have, the last compliance we're going to have.
Hello.
If I get a, how are you doing?
Fine.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're doing well because you're before me.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not before me because you've been successful. And you're not before me because you have questions. You're before me because I have questions and probation has questions. All right. Let me ask you this. If you're revoked on this, how much time could you do in prison? No. Everybody will say, I can't do any time in prison. You know, somebody would tell this story for us this is when I first started out. They said the judge asked the defendant, so how much time could you do in prison? Just let me know. And you know what they said? The defendant told him, oh, I can do 2 days. And you know what the judge told him? You know what? You just look at every time as 2 days increments. And you know what that judge did? Sent that person to prison for 30 years. So on this case, how much time could I send you to prison for?
How much you can?
Yeah.
10 years.
10 years? Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to go to prison because you are not doing what you're supposed to do? And people, well, you're acting as though you do, because people are working with you and it says your counselor contacted you and said you missed your group session.
Ma'am.
And then the counselor said, look, I will let you make up those sessions. And your answer to this counselor, knowing you could go to prison for 10 years was, I don't think I can do that. So do you think you can do 10 years in prison?
No, ma'am.
Then why are you acting like you can?
I live in Universal City, ma'am, and recently I've been just struggling. You know, I've lost my job because of transportation, getting back and forth. There's no public transportation in Universal City. Mr. Sheridan is a wonderful counselor. You know, I did go set up that meeting with him again because he helps me a lot. You know, I just wasn't able to.
Notice how the judge doesn't ask this lightly. This isn't small talk. She's forcing the defendant to confront the full reality up to 10 years behind bars. This is a common tactic judges use to snap defendants into accountability. Now, would you be able to answer that question honestly if your freedom was on the line?
I'm not able to move, like get to places, you know, so.
Who do you know in Universal City?
I have a roommate. I don't have no family out here. All my family has passed away. I'm from California. You know, so I don't really have people here. You know, I don't have any help. I've been paying $400 every 2 weeks at where I'm staying just to live there. You know, and then I've been catching Uber and Lyft back and forth to work to get there, and then that's a lot of money. You know, I don't have it. You know, and then I've been trying to do it. I could get to places. You know, like today I walked from Universal City to Converse to catch the bus to get here today, but I don't have like funds. Like I'm just getting backed up and on everything, and everything is kind of like coming at me at one time, and I don't know. I don't have no help. You know, I don't have nothing.
How old are you?
I'll be 31 next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be 31.
All right. So you're going to have to sit down with somebody. And by somebody, I mean probation will help you. You're going to have to get employment and figure out a budget.
I do. I have income tax. I was working all last year. I have income tax coming February 26th. That's going.
Well, I hope you didn't have somebody do your income tax where they take a major percentage of it, and then
I don't know. I just filed. You know, I file with her every year. You know, I work every year. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So he's saying he lives in Universal City. Are we aware of him living in Universal City? Did you let them know you lived in Universal City?
No.
So, state, this appears to be his issue. He doesn't have any transportation.
I was able to obtain my license. I've been working on that. I did get a car, but the next day it had a blown head gasket, so I lost it and I lost my money. So that kind of set me back as well, you know. And I've been trying to get a car like the right way, because that's why I really got my license and did that, because I didn't want to get another car that was going to go bad on me. So I got my license.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Abrams?
Yes, Judge.
They're asking for him to restart IOP.
Yes, Judge, that is the recommendation. And additionally, for them to restart IOP, I do want to ensure that he is enrolled in his VIP course at least by the either end of the month or, mid-March.
Here's where the human side of probation really shows he's not excusing his behavior. He's describing the crushing weight of poverty, transportation struggles, and lack of support. But the hard truth is the court doesn't let financial hardship erase responsibility. What do you think should judges show more leniency when life circumstances get this tough?
Okay.
Ma'am, I tried to enroll into the BIP class online due to my transportation issues, but it was $195 to enroll. I didn't have the money. I enrolled in Mr. Sheldon's class.
All right. And see, here's the thing. I understand how finances are hitting you, right?
That's ma'am.
But you know why these financial issues are hitting you and you got to still just deal with it? Because these are consequences for your offense.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you would not have committed this offense, guess what?
I wouldn't be in this
You wouldn't be here. Ms. Abrams, with regards to enrollment in BIP, he says he's getting his income tax. So we can give him till March 28th to enroll in BIP. You drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
I did enjoy it.
All right. So we're going to drug test him today.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that his last drug test was positive for marijuana back in December. So we can see if that's out of the system by now.
Okay. All right. So you're going to get drug tested today,
Ma'am.
and we're going to see what the results are. And if the results are positive, we're going to have another conversation. But for now, he's to enroll in the BIP on March 28th, and he's to restart IOP. So you're still telling me it's going to be negative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Abrams?
No, Judge.
All right, just sit there. Do you need any water or anything?
Yes, please.
All right, just have a seat. Mr. Moody, come forward. So we're not on the record. When's the last time you used marijuana?
I haven't used it since December.
No, I mean, unless something is wrong with the laws of physics and the time continuum has changed, you should not be positive for marijuana if the last time you used is in December. So let me just tell you something right now. You're on probation out of this court. If you want to continue to use marijuana, you're an adult, that's up to you. But using marijuana while you're on probation is not allowed. It's against your conditions of probation. And guess what? You may or may not end up going to prison for 10 years. And when people ask you why you're at the prison for 10 years, you can tell them because you wanted to use marijuana. And I'm sure at the prison, there's a way that people can make their marijuana. I know there's a way that people can make their alcohol if they so choose to imbibe, but you will be at the prison. And guess what? At the prison, you don't have to worry about catching but one bus. And you know what that bus is? The bus from the jail to the prison.
This right here is key. Judges often remind defendants that every financial strain, fees, classes, drug tests isn't random punishment. It's part of probation, and probation itself is an alternative to prison. The judge is basically saying you chose probation over time behind bars. Now you have to live with the conditions that come with it.
So I am not going to tolerate any more excuses from you. Because if you can find time to do marijuana, you can find time to get to Universal City. I don't want to hear this nonsense about I had to walk from Universal City to Converse, because guess what? Those are consequences from being on probation. You need to get a job, and in your job, you need to include reporting to probation and doing your treatment. You should have been done with treatment, but no, you're missing classes. Any other place, guess what they would have done? Maybe issued a warrant for your arrest instead of having this conversation, and you'll be taken into custody and you will be brought out wearing orange or red, whichever category they put you in. Do you understand? And if the roommate you're living with is allowing you to use marijuana where you all live, then that's not a good roommate. but I am not going to tolerate any more nonsense with you not following through on what you need to do. This is the last conversation we're going to have, the last compliance we're going to have. If I get another report and everything is in order, I'm going to sign it. And when I sign it, it's going to be for a motion to revoke. You will have to make bond. If you don't make bond, you'll be brought over and we will hear the allegations. Either they're going to be true or not true. And if they're true, you're looking at potentially 10 years in prison. So it's up to you to make the decision of whether or not marijuana is worth 10 years of your life, potentially, or 1 year, or 5 days. You understand? So do not come back here before trying to get tea and sympathy for me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. It's calling 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Alonzo Moody. Mr. Moody,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you entered a plea of true to violation of condition number 2
Yes, ma'am.
on September 9th. The state waived all other allegations. The court found violation of condition number 2 true, and the case was recalled for today.
Judge, in meeting with Mr. Moody, his is a case where it's never an excuse, and he wants to address the court directly, and I've advised him you will allow him to do that. But he shared with me, he originally is from California. He has 2 daughters who are 5 and 7. He resides with the mother of those daughters, and their relationship is not the best. And that's, in my opinion, why he's here today. The court knows about the new number 1 that was ultimately rejected. 2019, his sister passed away. 2020, his mother took her own life. 2022, his father passed away. He has 1 remaining sister he has no contact with. Mr. Moody, this is his second MTR. The first MTR was not before this court. It was before another judge, and he was continued at that time. The court brought him in January, and you told him, Judge, you better buckle down and you better get a job and you better start, showing an effort. And I think the record will reflect he got a job as a cook working at Hooters on the Ingram Park location. He lives in Universal City. So transportation and money are his issue, Judge. He has a vehicle. It's not been reliable. There's no bus service where he lives. So when he has to report, he has to either Uber, and he has to have the money to do that, or to take a bus. I think he will address that he's not been formally diagnosed with depression, but Judge, in my just talking with him, he understands what's going on, but I think he suffers.
This is where the tone shifts from patience to absolute zero tolerance. The judge cuts through every excuse, transportation, roommates, depression. It all collapses in the face of one fact. He's still using marijuana on probation. The risk losing 10 full years of his life over 1 joint. Would you gamble 10 years of freedom for a high?
Depression and losing 3 of his family members. They were the only support that he had, and he lost all of them in a short span of time. And he had tested at the beginning of April. He had appeared. He didn't think that he didn't know, but he didn't realize that they would call him back so soon. It was like 2 weeks later, I think on the 24th, that he was called to test. He didn't have the Uber money. He didn't have the money to drug test. And so he just got depressed, frustrated, and he did not appear. That's never an excuse, Judge. And I know he wants to address the court. But I know you will take those factors into consideration, not as an excuse, but in the totality of looking at his case.
All right. You want to call him as a witness?
Yes.
All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Andre Alonzo Moody.
All right. You may proceed.
Mr. Moody, have you requested that you be permitted to address the court today?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were here last time, the judge asked a very important question. She said, why should I continue you on probation? Would you like to address that question for the court?
Yes, ma'am. First off, I want to say I messed up. Got my daughters here, my 2 daughters, and that's everything for me. Everything I do, I try to do everything the right way. I know that it doesn't seem like I'm learning, but I'm trying, Ms. Boyd. I acquired my license. I never had a license. I've been trying to get myself together to be to successfully complete this probation. And I've been trying to do everything the right way. I try to steady myself. I try to take care of my family. I struggle with financial. Nothing that none of the stipulations have anything to do with me not doing it. It's just I haven't had money. I don't have no help. Everything is through me. I'm my own support. I've been here with my baby mom for about 8 years. We've been trying to get it together and work it out and fix it. I work and support. It's just I can't. I don't have no help. You know what I mean? The outpatient program. I've made an effort, even from University City, to complete those classes. I walked from University City to make sure I wouldn't violate that. At times, sometimes I had the money, sometimes I didn't. And my biggest problem is money. You know, like I don't have no help. Boy, so when I fall, it's hard for me to recover. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest issue. It's not doing it. It's not trying to disobey you or anything. I believe this probation has been helping me. The bib class that I was in, I felt like it was real helpful because a lot of people in there, a lot of the guys, they share their experiences with me, and like you can learn from them, you know. And it was cool. It was a cool class. Like everybody's talking to each other, and like I learned a lot. Even though I was only in there for 3 weeks, and the reason why I didn't complete the bill is because of financial. I missed one payment, and then it doubled. And I called the class and I asked them, I told them I really like the class. I really appreciate it. I'm just struggling financially. I don't have the money to pay that $50. And then when you miss again, it's $100. I just didn't have the money for it.
So my understanding from reading the case summary, which nobody objected to me reading at the last hearing, is that probation was recommending revocation. And the reason why they were recommending revocation was because of a new number one. My understanding is that new number one has been rejected.
That's correct.
So is there a new number one out there other than that?
Not that we're aware of.
All right. So according to the court summary, it says probationer was arrested and it's the same complainant, same offense. That's why they want revocation. But then that case has been rejected by the state. So now my other question is, then we're only here because of a UA.
Correct.
All right, so this is what I'm telling you. The state rejected that case for whatever reason they rejected it for. I don't know. It wasn't before the court. But it appears to me that your relationship with the complainant, that will be no more.
This moment is heartbreaking. He's fighting to convince the court that his 2 little girls are the reason he wants to turn his life around. The judge has heard excuses all day, but genuine appeals like this can sometimes weigh heavily. Do you think family responsibility should tip the scales in favor of a second chance?
That relationship is over. If you want to have a relationship with her, you can. And what that will result in is I will revoke you. You can go to prison. And then when you get out of prison, you can have a relationship with whomever you want. But if you wish to stay on probation in this court, there's to be no more contact with her.
But she is the mother of his children, so can we clarify?
No contact with her. If he wants to have visitation with the children, then it needs to be through a third party. There's to be no letters to her. There's to be no, I'm sorry. If you have clothes with her, then what will end up happening? You'll have to get a third party to go pick up your items. And my suggestion is that there be a police escort for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll deny the motion to alter and amend conditions. There's going to be partial GPS, waive fees, and GPS for employment only. And there's to be no contact with Siobhan, Chavon Sims. And I'm going to keep him on deferred adjudication. However, if you remain on deferred adjudication, if you come back before the court, the full range of punishment will be open to the court, which is up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe you all have reached an agreement where it was going to be, what, 6? So the agreement that you had reached with them was that if you were revoked, the most you could be sentenced to is 6 years in the prison. But I'm keeping you on deferred. And if you are revoked, you're looking at the full 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. And how are we going to address the issues with class, the fundings? I don't know.
Judge, I'm not sure. We'll have to do a financial analysis. Those particular classes have to be paid for. We can't wait for them.
Okay. So then, what we'll have to do and what you'll have to do as an adult, and this is adulting, you're going to have to do some research to see if there's any type of programs that will help you with funding for your classes. Legally, you have to take that class. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So where are we on compliance?
Your Honor, Mr. Moody came in, I believe, last week, asking assistance from the court to be heard in reference to his GPS tracking device.
Yes.
We're requesting it be changed from partial to tracking only. He's currently at Haven for Hope in the courtyard area, and he does have a job right now. The issue is with partial, he can only have the one job. He's looking to get another job to make money to make it out of Haven for Hope, get an apartment, stabilize himself in the community. So that's the reason why we filed this motion for your consideration.
All right. State, are you in agreement with tracking?
We are not, Your Honor. Given the supplemental report that was filed and the information contained in that report, it does seem like there was some deceptive behavior that by the defendant. And that was just as recently as mid-September. Additionally, we have spoken with the complainant in this case, and she is fearing for her safety. She has applied for a protective order, and so for those reasons.
I will tell you what, this is what the court will do. I'll consider your motion for tracking once you do have a second job.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're not allowing me, they only allow me to, GPS, Mr. Patel, the corporal, he's not allowing me to, he only allowed me to go to, work and come back. So it's kind of hard to talk to Corporal Patel.
Well, don't they have computers? Are you allowed to look for work on computer? How can they not have computers there?
Right, that's computers, and then they make them leave at 5 a.m. every day, and I'm just trying to go to work. I don't mind the GPS. I don't have no problem with it. I'm just trying to.
Let's do this. Then, what the state is telling me, and what the state has told the court, is that true or not true?
It's true.
All right, so you need to show me sometimes on GPS where there are no issues with you, because I will look to see if somebody has been having issues or not. Normally, if they have not had any issues, even though the state may say, we want them to remain on GPS, I'll start with tracking only. But you're not at the point for tracking only because you've had these issues. So I tell you what, counsel, if you come back March after spring break, because spring break people tend to get a little crazy. I don't know why.
Yes, John.
If you come back after spring break, I'll reconsider the tracking.
Okay, I have one question.
Yes.
So, I'm working at the temp agency right now. Still temp agency, staff to you, and the GPS monitor person that's a corporate Patel, he's saying I can't work there because it's a temp agency, and that's the only type of income I got right now. Like that's the only. I've been searching for jobs and looking.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If that's what you're saying, we will see if they can have them Zoom in, or counsel, if you can talk with the corporal and let them know that he's allowed to work.
Okay.
And if it's a temp agency, then it's a temp agency, but you're going to need to provide proof, and you're going to need to provide the location. All right. So I don't see why that's a problem.
I can follow up with that individual judge and just have it known to him by the court that they're encouraging him to work, and upon getting satisfactory documentation that will suffice. And if he's allowed to have some leeway to possibly look for another job, hopefully they'll consider that as well. But I did speak with him, and I do know this court likes to see the compliance in advance.
Mhm.
So I can rest assuredly tell my client today that going forward, if he follows the conditions as set, leaves the complaining witness alone, doesn't go anywhere near, we'll have a better fighting chance at maybe getting that adjusted in March.
All right.
All right, Judge. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And there it is, the final ultimatum stay. Clean follow the rules, and probation continues slip up again, and the judge won't hesitate to hand down the full 10 years. This is the razor's edge defendants walk every day. So the real question is, will he finally turn things around, or is prison his next stop?